The Uganda Law Society has today organized a legal aid clinic where lawyers in the whole country meet and provide free legal services to the society. Pro bono services in Uganda promised on the fact that a significant proportion of the Ugandan population lives in objective poverty, and this leads to limited access to justice as they cannot pursue the same due to the high related costs. The guest of honor at this event, the Supreme Court Judge Justice Remi Kasule, has called upon the Parliament of Uganda to enact on the Children Amendment Bill and be considered in the budget allocation. Kasule has condemned the violence against children in homes and schools, which should stop, urging government security agencies and civil society organizations to act for a violence-free environment.
We should reinforce government's responsibility in the promotion and the protection of children's rights. This responsibility, for example, we have had proposed amendments to the Children's Act. They have been there without being acted upon for the last 11 years.
Together with the Law Society and Pro Bono Scheme of Uganda, many civil society organizations have joined hands to fight for the rights of children, most especially those in remand homes like Campiningsa, where the Children Democratic Governance Facility has promised support over 900 million shillings for restructuring.
I am pleased to announce that the European Union will support the rehabilitation of that centre for an amount of 900 million Ugandan shillings to rehabilitate the buildings, the dormitory of the girls, offer vocational training and counselling for the children in that home.
Lawyers following the political events have confirmed that the law dons from Makerere University, the people of Uganda should be with hope in them, since their major objective is to provide legal advice and expertise to the lawyers. The Electoral Commission of Uganda was accused of enacting its own law to declare incumbent President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni as the winner of the February polls. This formed part of the arguments presented by the lawyers representing former Prime Minister of Uganda, John Patrick Amama Mbabazi, who is challenging the outcome of the election in the Supreme Court. The Mbabazi's team of lawyers complained of the time frame given to them by the Electoral Commission and the court to collect evidence in the 111 districts of Uganda.
The law on presidential elections should not be looked at. It is a very serious matter. And for anyone to allege that a presidential election was mismanaged, it should have evidence. I have no problem with time. The 10 days, a discrepancy as to the fate of the presidency should be solved within the quickest time possible.
The 2011 election results were contested as the FDC candidate Kizza Besigye filed evidence of bribery, threatening violence and the use of state machinery to win the vote. The court, however, had a verdict that it was substantial evidence which was lacking to annul the elections. This was upon the Parliament to work on the electoral laws amendments like the Independent Electoral Commission.
We must caution ourselves not to go against the sub judice rule, the rule that forbids us from discussing a matter in court and trying to predict its outcome. So we won't engage in that today. But what we should look at is the significance of the petition. This petition isn't the first of its kind. The very first of its kind in the NRM time was the 2001 petition. The second was the 2006, and this is the third, the 2007. But when you look at almost all the three petitions, the issues are salient. There is voter bribery, voter intimidation, ballot stuffing, and those feature in both three elements. What is worrying is that now the trend, first of all, the trend of commission of those elements, and the trend of excuses is changing. Back then, intimidation was just soldiers marching in streets, and then proponents would say the voters were intimidated. Today, intimidation has now even reached an extent where people are shot at and killed, where people are taken and disappear for good, and we do not know. The classic example is the case of Aine.
The Supreme Court Judge Remi Kasule has urged lawyers to always put children at the forefront of whatever they do for the good of Uganda. He, however, condemned civil society organizations growing up all the time, claiming for advocacy of the rights of children, yet it is the opposite. I am Kawesa Ruama, WBS TV, Leroy Grounds in Kampala.